This is the Prisoner on Reaper One Skull. There's a few challenges in this quest. The thing that makes this quest hard are the beholders. Obviously, beholders are just tough. There's a few things that beholders do. The first is they have death spells, so we're protected against that with our death ward, and as long as we don't take that off, we're good. And that's our armor, so that's probably not going to be a mistake we would make taking that off. And the second thing is negative energy, or basically level draining, right, with negative energy. So the damage part of that, we get damage reduction, but and by the way, I probably shouldn't have bothered to buff because we're going to have a beholder fight first, and he's likely going to anti-magic everything I just did. But the negative level and energy draining, we're going to use our remove disease clickies, which give us a full restore. As soon as that happens, we have 9 of them, so we should have enough to get through this quest by doing that. And the third thing they do is disintegrate, which if we fail our fortitude save, it's pretty much instant death. If we make our fortitude save, then it's probably not as bad. We have good saves, so we're only going to fail on a roll of a 1. If we roll a 1, we're probably going to die and hope our Harlan can just raise us quick. If not, we should be okay. So that's basically the challenge in this quest. There's a few other things. The giant fight could be tough, and I didn't bring a bluff item, so we're going to fight him. And then there's some enemies that remove charisma and make us helpless, and I'm going to rely on my hireling to get, to basically give me a heal and restore me through that.
A beholder roars hungry for
And you can see on my buff bar on the upper left, he just anti-magicked everything I did, but that was all he did. He didn't negative energy drain me. He didn't, he might have. Let's see. Beholder's anti-magic effect has been removed, but it also removed all my buffs. Let's see if you attempt save versus telekinesis save. So he tried to use telekinesis on us, but failed. We saved. Beholders disintegrate hit you for 30 points of damage, so that means that we made our save. Yeah, here it is. You attempt to save versus disintegrate, you roll a 10 plus 34 save. If we failed that save, we would be dead. And then all the stuff got removed. So that's kind of, that wasn't too bad, 30 points of damage, but that would have been probably enough. I mean, it's possible we could have survived that, but very possible that disintegrate would have killed us. It's huge damage on a failed save, but very low damage on a made save. And it's possible before he anti-magicked us that he tried to energy drain us, but we had Death Ward on until he removed that. So it's possible that gave us some benefit, but I'm not going to use any more buffs until we get past the beholders. Interesting, I didn't spot anything there. So yeah, my spot didn't catch that. So when I use my reincarnate, my spot will get quite a bit better. It'll improve because I'm going to give 2 points to wisdom, so it'll improve a little bit there. And then I'll have an additional 5 points of spot, so it'll improve by 6, 30%, a 30% better chance to spot things. So it's useful to know that we weren't spotting that trap on Reaper. We were spotting, I think we have spotted traps up to this point on Reaper, so that's the first one. But these quests all have slightly different DCs and challenges to them, and on this one, that trap was interestingly not something I was able to search for it fine, but the spot didn't work. All right, so unfortunately he's a tough champion here, but we're going to just fight because we're going to fail our save. And you can see he's got a ton of hit points. He's just and he's doing a debuff on me. Back up, maybe let that debuff run out a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to trip him, but I'll try. Use all my cleaves on him just because it's extra damage. Not not too bad. It's actually better than I thought. Big thing he does is this debuff, which lowers my armor class, and my armor class is not really that big. Armor class is sort of like an all or nothing type of stat, and for us it's a nothing stat, so that doesn't really hurt us much. Lowering our PRR or MRR, that does. Okay, that's a problem. So where's that champion? He's dead. I didn't see what kind of method that was because of the visual effect. There's still 4 more methods we have to deal with. We can loot this, I guess. You know, technically we could just run away and leave them there, but we don't really need this optional. But, Two Reapers, bad news here. And we got them both, so that was with our big cleave. It got them both. So that's good that we have 2 Reapers spawned right on top of me, and we survived that and took those Reapers down pretty quick. So we should be able to make this jump. We have a really good jump skill. And we've got another Beholder coming up here.
An eye tyrant watches you with suspicion.
And let's see what he does. So 2 negative levels. That's not too bad. I'm going to keep going. There we go. Remove disease. Oop, that didn't get rid of it. I usually on hands by mistake. Alright, so I'm going to keep my hireling right here. Because you know, if I get, these guys do charisma damage, and so if you get down to 0 charisma, you become helpless. But the heal spell will, alright, there's a Plague Reaper, so I'm gonna, one blazing, there we go. So you can see I got charisma damage, so I'm gonna jump down and have him restore that. It's pretty nasty. My charisma's 4, so I wasn't helpless. If I'm helpless, I could still move, but I can't attack. I can't cast spells. So the nightmare scenario is both myself and my hireling gets helpless. So that's why I'm keeping my hireling parked down there. If I get helpless, I could just jump down and have my hireling do this, give me the heal, and the heal has a restore effect on it. I could restore myself, but these guys remove charisma so fast. In fact, I'm going to use my buffs here. These guys remove charisma so fast that it just, you go helpless like in nothing, no time. So I'm going to use all the stops on them. Alright, there's still something. There we go. When that ladder's lowered, you know that you've got the last of them. There's one more. Alright, so now the ladder's lowered, so I can call my hireling, and let's see what my charisma's at. 6. So if, you know, we have a pretty good charisma and a charisma item. If we didn't, I'd probably be helpless there, but oop, he used that on himself. That was my mistake. So 22. So they did 16 points of charisma damage to me in, you know, a couple of seconds. So that's another challenging part about this quest is that that charisma damage. But that's how I get around it. I park a hireling in the bottom and then just jump down to get healed. At this level, hirelings have the heal spell, so we could just do that. We're running 4 levels above. If we're running 2 levels above, that's a level 10. The hirelings won't have heal, so you want to make sure when you run this quest at level 10 that you have a hireling that has restore to do the same kind of trick, but with restore instead of with heal.
Forceful wind will send you off into the ether.
All right, so now that the beholders are down, I think the toughest part of this quest is pretty much over. But I wouldn't underestimate these Theric hounds that are coming up because I found them almost tougher than beholders because I always save against the disintegrate, normally, and I think I have enough hit points now. I could probably survive one disintegrate. I'm at 344. But these Theric hounds, they have a death effect, which doesn't scare me too much. They have another spell, Psychonic Blast, which is pretty deadly on Reaper mode, and especially if they're a champion. So we're just going to run down really, really quick and just try to get them quick. That's all we could really do. And I'm going to use this big cleave on them because they're that scary. And Cyclonic Blast, according to DDO Wiki, has a save, but I never make that save, so I either misunderstand what the Wiki article is saying, or the DCs are higher than typical spells, because I save against almost everything with my reflex save, but not Cyclonic Blast. Alright, so I have to run over by this ladder to start this fight. We're going to fight a bunch of Arcane Oozes, and note that the acid on this weapon is healing them, but I'm still doing a lot more damage than I am healing, so I'm not going to worry about it. We want to use this Blue Shine weapon.
Arcane oozes dissolves into a bubbling mess. Forceful winds threaten to send you off into the ether.
Yeah, if you stand on the X, then you won't get blown off. And I found this one to actually work pretty good. If I'm standing on the X, I don't get blown off. Alright, end fight. So this end fight's a little bit different, unless I'm confusing it with the epic version. But in the normal and hard version, you just fight the one shadow. In the elite version, again, I might be confusing this. Maybe this is only an epic, but all of these people back here are going to fight us. And they have CC and other things. So we want to basically... Nope, I guess that's just an epic. So we just can take her down as fast as possible. Hireling's down. I don't want Hireling probably that lightning. So we saw some 28 points of negative damage there, so that wasn't too bad.
With her shadow self defeated, Orphne awakens from her reverie.
So we got for Reaper XP 288 for that on Reaper 1 Skull. I'm not going to bother raising the Hireling and wasting my scroll. They're like 1,000 each, and we're done with the quest anyways. So I'm gonna disable this trap and loot my chest. So my spot's working fine there. Alright, and that is the prisoner on Reaper 1 Skull.